Hello there, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to share with you the importance of stepping out of your shell. The importance of getting out of your workspace, your office, just being out and about in the community, in the world, and just the benefits of just being outside. Really, if we're just stuck as a recluse, what's the point of just being in contact with other people, right? But really bringing out another point from the books that I have here. So I'm going to talk about the importance of moving outside of the work office, of course, with Bet David, and the importance of having emotion as part of your life. Then also connecting the ideas of an important inspiration, community, with McGinley. And then finally with Gottman, this idea of, wow, how we distract ourselves with projects and how that keeps us away from developing a relationship with the people that we love, the friends, and how it really draws and takes us away. And so hopefully this video I'll share with you can really go into an importance of, okay, let's just talk about how we become real, become authentic people. Here we go. So with the first start I want to bring up with this topic is how to really become alive when talking with other people, how to be present, to be an active listener. Okay, so with Bet David, I'm going to start off with something that was very important that I read. Okay, you can be the smartest person on this planet. You can have all the brains, you can have all the strength, etc., etc. But what happens if you are all brain and you cannot talk with people? You cannot get in their face, inspire them. Hey, Joe, Mark, Bethany, etc., etc. Why are you doing these things? Okay, why can't you go and stand up from your table and go and do this? Why can't you go and finish this or go and get that mail from the mailbox today, right? Why don't you do this or that? And my point is, I'm trying to draw out this idea of logic. If it's on its own, it's nothing. You can be the smartest person and you have no idea of how to talk with people. That's why many CEOs, as Bet David will share in his book, they fail at business because they have all the brains, they have good ideas, but they have no idea of how to communicate their mission to people, and how people are not on the same page, people are fired, everything's just ablaze, and it's just not going to work for anybody. What is the point of working if we're not on the same page? We can see in sports, in fact, now that football's coming about with college and the pros, if no one's on the same page and everyone's now starting to jab at each other, why did you throw that pass to that person? I was wide open. Why did you not go for the touchdown? You could have ran for it, right? Why did you do that? Why weren't you thinking on the spot? You see, common sense, this is really where it pays dividends to have that common sense to really think outside of the playbook. If you see a defense and they're not guarding you, oh my gosh, go and score for crying out loud. Really, you can get the lead and then give yourself the team the advantage, and then you kick the football back and your defense can stop them again and you go score again, right? See, the point is, common sense can really separate yourself from a book, from logic, from theory. And if you're not able to separate yourself from your cubicle, see, Bet David goes into sharing how there are just so many bright people in this world where you could just throw them in front of the silo, throw them in their office, and they'll work for you all day. But that's the thing. Their strength is just production and work on a project. But if you have that same person talk in front of a crowd, ooh my, you throw them into the deep end of the pool. Are they going to swim out of there from the deep side and really be able to talk with people? They're probably not. They're probably not going to pass. It's probably just going to fail. And most likely it's going to make your company look bad, because if you're not able to sell and secure the client with a deal, oh my gosh, then you failed. Okay, that looks bad on them, but also bad on you as a CEO for putting people in the wrong position. See, everyone has to be on the same page, the same mission, and you have to break through the ice. You have to break through that ice in order for everyone to be afloat, to survive, to move forward. And I think it goes back to everybody as far as if we're going to make it out into the real world, we have to be willing to break ice, be willing to put ourselves out on the line. And Bet David, I'll share one more time before jumping into other points, from the idea of a mission. This idea that, okay, if I'm set on a mission, I have a mission, I could take all the crap, I could take all the negative feedback from people. You could cuss at me all day. But the thing is, if I have a mission, I am now giving myself permission to take negative criticism and then give it right back at you. To say, hey, you didn't like what I was saying about that. Okay, well then you stand in your chair and you listen to me right now, because I got an idea. Or if you don't like this, then get out of here. We don't need your negative energy. See, the energy that negative person is pulling from you, that's taken away from not only your presentation, your objective, but it's taken away from the fun of everybody else in those moments, those circumstances. If you're having a mission, a meeting, if you're having some sort of event, people are just drawing the energy away from each other, and that's not fun. Why do you want to be out there with negative people? See, I'm seen so many situations where people will nag each other, criticize each other. Oh, they're picky on like, oh, why did you do that with the rules? Or why did you not do this? And even in family outings, it's so terrible when you see families just split apart. They're divided because the energy is so pulled apart by negative people. And the thing is, even if it's positive people, see, positive people, they may have good intentions, but it goes back to that mission of David. If you go this way, if you want to score 10 points and someone else wants to score 50, see, you have two different game plans. The game plans are offset, and now all of a sudden everyone's going in their own direction, and boom, the other opponent, they can just knock you out because you are not focused on the same mission, the same idea. And because of that division, you're easy to knock down. And that is how families separate, are divided, fall into drugs, go into separation, divorce. All the kids are now on the streets. I mean, this is just terrible stuff because the top, the head, the people on the top were not focused on the mission for raising the family. And maybe they were trying their best to survive, but if both people are going in different directions, that's going to destroy a family. And that's where I'll go into McGinley now with the book of the joys and the challenges of family life. And from that perspective of McGinley, he's striving to share with everyone from this point. I want to share with you that if the family does not have God or the sense of belonging to a community, this idea that, okay, we're going to be so independent from everybody in our community, in the world we live in, why do we need to be a part of something big? We can just go and do our own thing. We'll be rich, go to the soccer games, we'll go to our family events, we'll go to the bar, we'll go into the restaurants, yada yada. We don't need anybody. We can take care of ourselves. Okay, take care of yourself and your family, that's good. All right, but if you separate yourself so much to the point of dividing your own family, see, that division, that independence can happen. It can lead to a division because everyone now is supporting themselves with their own pride. They don't have that idea of God or that idea of some sort of belonging, some sort of faith that keeps everybody together, so huddled when things are going against each other. Backs are to the wall. Everything is going apart. See, you're not united against the negative thing that's happening against you. Okay, maybe now all of a sudden your house is going to be sold to somebody because of a terrible decision that someone made. Okay, I don't know, poor example, but the idea here is when something is being taken from other people, that's where you see people's true intentions stand out. You can see somebody backstabbing another, see people talking about other people behind their backs, and how that division, as Beth David will say again, where you notice people when they're put on the spot in the fire, you will notice that, okay, people may not be your friends and allies, and you have to really consider, okay, who are my competitors and who are my enemies? And in this regard, if it falls into the family, oh, that's terrible. And to avoid that division, he'll say, okay, avoid confrontation within the family by recognizing, okay, I don't have to be nagging anybody. I don't have to go and even up with somebody, because the thing is, what's the point if I'm going to just attack my own kid or my own parent, etc.? Because the thing is, division will destroy a family. And now going back to McGinley, if you don't have that sense of love within the family unit, the sense of being together through the hardships, okay, maybe life was terrible for everybody or for some people and now they need support. Okay, maybe mom or dad can help the kid. Maybe they were bullied at school today, or maybe there was a terrible gun shooting at some place across the country, etc., or whatever the negative situations is. This is the role of the parent coming into play. And if that parent does not have the strength, the resilience, the support to help their kid in those moments, oh my goodness, okay, how are you going to guide them to become good people? Or if you fall into a terrible situation and all your kids see that you fell into a terrible scandal, okay, how are the kids going to react? See, now the kids separated because they did not have God to keep them strong in those moments, or maybe a few did and they made their strong decisions moving forward to have healthy, loving relationships with their husbands and wives, but maybe others took the negative idea from your scandal and it's like, oh, okay, now we'll just go and be scandalous also because you were a scandalous parent. See, how terrible were you? You never stood up for me. You never stood up for me when I needed you the most. See, what was the point of being a good person if you were just going to backstab me and throw negative lesson after negative lesson on top of me, saying that I'm just a bad person and you're trying to uphold yourself, uphold your own ego. See, the ego will destroy the family, and that is where you don't have that sense of belonging with the community. Then it's really hard to find a friend, people outside of your family to find that support when you need it the most, from a friend, a school acquaintance, student, another parent, family, etc. And you live on your own, you're on the streets now, right, etc., and you fall into these other forms of being so independent. Now, independent is not a bad thing, right? You can be independent in the relationship to where you're all working together and you can have different goals in mind. So for example, now I'll go into Gottman here, where he's stresses the point, okay, where some families, they really don't have that unity because they were doing projects. Okay, let's go build a chicken coop. Okay, let's go build an extra addition to the house. Okay, let's do this outing. Okay, you're all doing things looking like you're a family together. You're doing projects together, but what was the point of all that if you weren't having those direct conversations with each other in the moment, not really taking in the scenery, not really taking in the moment? Okay, you're sitting on the rocks. Okay, you're sitting out there at the beach and you're really enjoying the view, but what's the point if you're not even talking with each other, enjoying that sunset? Maybe you are contemplative. That's a cool thing if you're a contemplative family in that regard, where you can go into religion now with God in that perspective. But if you don't have that, if you're just out there not talking with each other and you really are acting like a family out in public, you have the look, but you don't have the heart, and that's going to destroy. And you're living a false image, a false idea of a family, a false image that's going to keep you down, keep your belief from seeking a good, healthy relationship, because this is all you've known, to keep a fake face, to live by not breaking the eggshells, right? To live as if you had to uphold an image, and that image eventually will crash down and destroy your beliefs, your images, if you allow it to just control you in some way. So to break out of that facade, to break out of that control, Gottman will urge, okay, have those conversations, have a healthy dynamic every day where you have a bit of a time to talk with your family, your kids. Okay, now before even doing the activity, talk with each other, share with each other what the purpose is, what we're going to do today. Maybe we're going to have a family outing, maybe we can talk, but how was your day? Did you have a good week at school? What was your things happening today at the park, etc.? Your school events? Okay, you're breaking ice. You're having that healthy communication with your kids, and then kids to your parents. How was your day at work? Dad, Mama, how is that going today? Did you find something good? Did you actually find a new job? What's happening? How are you all doing? See, and the thing is, some topics, yes, will be off limits as far as for kids to the parents. Respect what it's in the household, of course. You set your family rules, but if you have that kind of communication, if you do reach that level, okay, then you can probably have good conversation that can really lead to greater opportunities for everyone to work together to get out of a bind. See, now that's a question I'll share with you. Should you have topics that are not disclosed with your kids and the kids to the parents, right? How do you run those dynamics in your family, your household? Share in the comments. That'll be interesting to see, because maybe some people want to share about, okay, maybe we could talk about sex, maybe we could talk about college, maybe we could talk about relationships, okay, maybe we could talk about the problems with drugs, etc., etc. Or do we just keep those kind of like a taboo and not want our kids to fall into those topics so we avoid talking about them? But if you fail to talk about history, you're likely to repeat history no matter what, because friends run into acquaintances have other acquaintances, have available drugs on hand, have available pornography, phones, okay, even firearms. Okay, see, I'm going into the nitty-gritty of trying to help kids to stay off of the bad stuff, to stay out of the street. Because the thing is, if you don't have those conversations, maybe if you did have that conversation with a kid, maybe that could have helped them. I don't know. See, that would be interesting to share from your perspective in the comments what you think is a good way of having a disclosure within the family. What topics are on the table and how you disclose. Do you have that conversation before dinner, after dinner, maybe before they go to bed, or maybe you don't have these kind of conversations? And how can we as a community share with everybody to have those conversations with our friends and our family? Because as Gottman will say, share in the book, only couples spend about 35 minutes of conversation, even with the boring topics, a week. Let me repeat that again. 35 minutes a week you're talking with your partner. That is so terrible. Yes, technology and a screen. Yes, I get all these distractions are here for us now in this world. In that regard, the luxury became an addiction. So remember that. When the luxury becomes an addiction and takes away a strength that was once within the family, see, now you're living that false image that Gottman will share with you, where, okay, you're doing all these projects, you're living a fake family life, you're living an image that's not so true because you have allowed the luxuries of TV, restaurants, all these different activities to take control of the family unit, of the bonding that should have been there for the family, where McGinley will say, okay, because of all that independence, we don't have that sense of belonging with anyone, with any community, with a God, with any relationship, because we don't have that bond to really unite everything that's important to us. What do you all consider out there on the channel? What is a way to increase the bonding with people? Maybe it is projects, in the sense that, okay, we do projects together, but we are doing things that mean something to the family. What is meaningful in your family? What's meaningful in your life? And I think that can really tackle some of the negative issues that are happening in today's world. I mean, if you have those connections with your kids and kids to the parents, maybe that'll help build that resilience so that you don't fall into bad company. But even when you do, when you have to live on your own, away from other people, if you have to survive on the street, okay, be strong, resilient, and you can overcome those negative situations in life. You can outperform the sins of the past from your family, etc. Bet David will say, okay, maybe 2 kids witness their dad do something bad as a child. Maybe one kid followed the dad's example, but the other kid followed the opposite direction. And the thing is, we are all unique with our decisions and our abilities to make a choice. And my question for everyone now is, when you're put to the back to the wall, okay, when you have to make a choice, see, if you have to give your wallet to somebody or something that's so precious to you, would you do it? Or would you take the punches and the beating because you know you have a mission to fulfill? Where Bet David, I keep harping on Bet David's book, but I'm loving the book. Basically, it's just so fun what I'm reading. Thank you. And if you read this, Bet David, thank you. But the point is, if you catch what he's saying with the mission, you give yourself that permission to take hits for a goal. You give yourself permission to go out to find a good person in your life, to ask the beautiful lady, the hot guy, because you recognize, hey, I do have a life. I can push myself to the next challenge in my life. The next challenge, right? Kind of taking from his book, this idea of a new enemy to give you energy to go and pursue. Because if you've already won a battle with somebody, for example, okay, say you asked somebody out, it didn't work out, okay, why go back again? See, that was a JV victory, a C team victory. Go for a varsity victory. Go for a victory that's much better than what you had before. See, you can shoot higher. See, they always say, yeah, ladies look up, men look down. But the thing is, for guys too, see, you can push yourselves also to really step out of your comfort zone, to go and pursue, to push yourself to become great. And you can go push yourself to greater challenges. See, don't be afraid of beauty. Don't be afraid of the accomplishments of somebody else behind the scenes. You can be good. You can push yourself. And this goes for ladies too. You can push yourselves to be great. I mean, we need nurses. We need other professions in life beyond nurses. See, I'm not just trying to say it was just the first thing that came off my mind, but the thing is, we need people to take care of each other. We need engineers. We need strong people in the armed forces. See, everybody can play a role. Got to have that belief within yourself, in the heart, the mind, the soul. See, now on the religious aspect, you need to have that hope that somebody's helping you behind the scenes. Hope that you can accomplish something that no one thought you can do. Because when you look at the examples of the past, when you look at people that have accomplished some good things, they stepped out of their comfort zones. They really went for it. They went for something great. And maybe they crash landed on the bottom. And so Bet David will say, to help you all, find your mission. Find your mission that'll keep you growing. So for me, I want to help people that are rejected. Help people that are rejected, and from a religious aspect to this, the rejected stone, because Jesus was a rejected stone. No one wanted him. He was the rejected person of the Jewish community, and all of a sudden he saves the world through his death. And now consider that. The thing is, when the rejected stone becomes the cornerstone holding up all the church, you become a pillar that holds up the house. See, now the house can stand. Now your family is united. Now you can withstand negative hardships when it comes down to the nitty-gritty. See, maybe you forgot to pay the electric bill. Maybe now something bad happened and now it's not so big of a deal because you found a way to unite in a moment. Hey, let's get the candles. Hey, let's get those LED lights. Hey, let's go out to town while they work on the electricity. See, you can turn the negative moment into a bonding moment with the kids. What are some examples you've done before that united you all together in the hardships? See, hardships are opportunities also when you recognize that you can unite in those terrible moments when they happen in your life. Now, for me, it's always thinking, okay, how do you keep all this in mind, Mike? How do you, because you're sharing all this information, but what's the point if I don't have all this in mind? Point is, turn the negative into an opportunity. Don't give in to negative criticism. Find a mission that'll keep you upright. So going back to what I was saying, by helping those who are rejected, I'm going to stand up for what I believe is right, talking on this camera, talking through the screen, sharing with you all my opinions, because I feel I can do this as best as I can with my skills, experiences, the books, and moving forward in my career. And I'm not defined by what other people are telling me to do. I define my mission, and if you're not on my mission, I move forward. But I don't have to argue with you. I don't have to argue with you or be petty. We can both go on different outcomes and move forward. Seek a better challenge. That'll make you stronger. Seek a better opportunity that'll help you grow. And the thing is, if you recognize that you have to make that jump from one good company to something else because you want to be an entrepreneur, do it. Take a risk. There are some risks in life that have to be done in order for you to survive. And if you have to be pushed against the wall, you go for it because you had no other choice. You had to jump. You had to take that chance. And when someone is pushed to that limit, see, what are you going to do when you're pushed to the limit and you have to make a choice that has to help you and your family? Are you going to do it for your mission, your cause? Or are you going to all just go down in the ship as it sinks, right? When the house goes aflame. See, what are you all going to do when everything comes against you? Are you all strong together, or are you going to make that jump together? See, that's something to consider. And so when you find a partner that's on your mission, and then you have your family and your kids, share with them lessons as they grow up and they face hardships. Consider what you can do as a parent to be a good role model, to find the unity within the family, in the community, with other families, so that way it helps them bond, playing sports outside, maybe going to the school events, maybe doing all these other things. And when your kids see you at those events, it really uplifts them, gives them that inspiration. Hey, my parents, my family, they're here for me today. That was awesome. You know, you get the hugs and you're like, oh, thank you for being here. Good uncle, good aunt, etc., right? Godparents, grandparents, it's all good. And the thing is, when you find ways to unite, it really makes a memorable moment, an imprint in the mind that you can recall. That was like, wow, I'm glad I was there for my kid this time last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. I remember that still. Wow. See, I remember that, and I can share that with family and pass that in the stories. And when the stories become real, that is what unites a family to overcome those negative hardships, and the lessons that share with your family through the future, that you can move from the past to a positive future. And you can have a bright one if you continue to believe that you can build it moving forward. And with that pillar of faith, kind of sharing back with Jesus this idea that, okay, once you have given yourself to a mission, given yourself permission to die, which is what he did, he died for our sins, all of a sudden he's now rose from the dead, and now he can uphold everything and keep us from falling down. And he's there to pick us up. He's the pillar, but you can be the pillar in your life, in your family situation. And when your business is struggling, you can help the business as best as you can as well. Be a pillar right there, find an opportunity for everybody, for the clients, better sales, etc., for everyone to move forward. And this can be applied in different areas of your life. You can always refresh and renew the purpose as well as a mission. If it has to be updated, push for it. Go for it. Update it. So I say I want to help the rejected. Maybe I'll change it to I want to become a career coach and help people find better careers. You can always update it. You can always look at the negative outcomes that happened in your life in the past and see how you really were reflecting back your mission to people. Maybe you didn't recognize it then. Maybe they didn't recognize it either. Or they did recognize your mission, but you didn't recognize it, and that's okay. As you come to reflect and think about, what do I want to stand for today? What am I going to do to break the ice, to come out of my shell? What is it that's going to help me give permission for myself to take the hits, to now go against the dragon, to fight the next one? So that way I keep challenging myself for bigger opportunities, for everyone to be safe and to grow, for myself to grow. And when I grow, everything around me improves as well. Because when the knife gets sharpened, it can cut more fruit. When the tool is updated or fixed, it can now match with the other companies, the other competitors, because you now have internet with your agency. Now you're all on the same track, and now competition continues. And so always being on track with the updates of life and reality will help you obtain your mission and get it accomplished. And I know you got this. So keep your head out of negative things. Keep it open for opportunities. And always remember, you got this. Don't have to focus on the past. Learn from it, but move forward and see how you can stay on track with other people and your competitors, and you'll be okay. You got this, and you'll break that shell, and you will become an awesome, authentic leader in whatever industry you're going to go into. And we can help people, and I will help the rejected people. That's my mission. What's your mission today? Let's see what you can find. What motivates you, what bothers you, and then what ticks you off, and how are you going to respond to that and connect that to your mission? Things to consider. All right, everyone, I hope this video finds you well. I hope this was a great motivation for you, for everybody that saw this, and I hope this helps somebody, and just share in the comments throughout the video what you think as far as unity, family, missions in life, goals, setbacks, and how you can take one negative thing to an opportunity, how that united everybody, and how it made you stronger as a family, as a community, and how you can use faith to help you in your life as well. Things to consider. Alright everyone, hope this video finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.